Hey guys. Alright. So,
Grocery and energy bills even
right
you get screwed. They get rich.
now, this one I said it was going to be out of the Lost Superfoods. And I decided not to go with the one that I was going to do. But this one is going to be how to make bread on a stick.
Biological fear. Compete against our girls and their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump.
That right there. So, alright. Our relationship with modern conveniences is a funny one. We cannot bear to live without them. Refrigeration and toilet paper are things that preppers get crazy over. We've been going to the bathroom since we lived in trees and toilet paper was only created in the early 1700s, and likely wasn't widely available till much later. Yet before food and water preppers stock up on toilet paper. The same story can be said for refrigeration. Which is even newer to our civilization. We want to keep foods around forever in the fridge and freezer. How on earth did we survive before the modern kitchen appliances? Creating our own long-term food storage. Food is a top 3 resource for preppers. At least it should be. Don't fall victim to the idea that you're going to grow a big garden and hunt your way to prosperity. If it were that easy, we wouldn't have grocery stores all over the place. Our ancestors understood this was no easy feat, and they learned how to can, preserve, and make foods that had a long shelf life. Things like pemmican and hardtack were made in order to extend the life of things like flours and meats. Another important food that was produced with the same motivation was Bannock. Bannock is a very interesting food because we are unsure if it was European bread brought back to Europe through natives in the Canadian wilderness or vice versa. No matter its origin, it was certainly a bread made by the Cree people and created for its long shelf life. It would have been made from a kneaded dough that was cut into portions and wrapped around sticks. The Cree bannock would then have been cooked over a fire and enjoyed by the fire or stored for later. Wow. My brain's not functioning right now. The Cree people, a wide birth tribe that spread all over what is now central Canada. The fur trade truly favored the Cree in its early days, and the population of this tribe exploded. The Cree were survived on the northern plains. They lived in the way we assume most Native Americans would. The Cree were teepee-dwelling and hunted bison on the plains. Because of their struggles on the harsh plains, food like bannock was well suited. You don't always get a buffalo, and this bannock undoubtedly filled the bellies of hungry, unsuccessful hunters of the Cree at some point in history. Making Cree bannock. Another reason that bannock is such a great survival food is that it's simple to make. It's a basic mix of flour, water, and baking soda. What makes it unique in this chapter is that we are also going to cook it on a stick. Bannock is often cooked in a pan over the fire or in an oven. Ingredients: 3 cups of flour. Now make sure it's an unbleached flour, whole wheat flour, or whole grain flour, something like that, because that's what they would have had back then. Half a cup of lard, and don't use the stuff off the store shelves that is processed. You want a good home rendered lard. And if you don't have it, then go through like local farmers, local homesteaders, farmers markets, stuff like that. 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 2 pinches of salt. I would use the Redmond's real salt or a sea salt. 2.5 cups of water. Make sure it's not tap water. You want a good filtered water. Process. Number 1, start the process by mixing your flour and lard together. You can use 2 forks to mash the flour and the lard together. Bakers often use a method called cutting in that uses 2 butter knives to slice butter or lard into the flour repeatedly. You basically want to spread the lard throughout the flour before adding water. Otherwise, you're going to have a big lump of flour, baking soda, salt, and water on one side and a lump of lard on the other. So take your time and mix the flour and lard thoroughly. Number 3, next you're going to add the baking soda, salt, and you can even add dried fruits like raisins or currants. It also ups the nutrients of it too. Number 4, at this point you can add your water. Again, make sure it's not tap water. You want a good filtered water. It will start as just a stodgy mess, but as you keep mixing, the dough will start to come together. Number 5, from here you're going to seek out some cooking sticks. You might have some metal on hand that you use to cook hot dogs and marshmallows on, or you might even have some of those bamboo skewers. If none of the above, just look for a good clean stick to wrap your dough on. Number 6, it helps to run that stick over the fire a couple times to burn off anything that might be on there. You cannot see bacteria, but a few licks of flame can get rid of it. Number 7, divide your dough into 4 portions. These are going to be what you wrap around each of your sticks. Number 8, tightly wrap your dough around the end of your stick. Be sure that the dough is secure so that it stays on the end of the stick during the cooking. Number 9, you can hold the bread over the fire if you are planning on sitting around the fire. Otherwise, you might want to get a Y-shaped stick and prop your stick over the fire. Number 10, turn it a couple times until it's up brown on all sides, then it will be ready to go. Your bannock can be eaten right away or it can be stored long term. Just like bannock cooked over a fire, this bread will last for at least a couple of months. For optimal storage, you should cut the stick portion shorter and keep the bread covered to protect it from bugs. This could be in a shemag or a satchel of some kind if you are in the wild. At home, you can place these in a Tupperware container or you can even freeze them. The bannock will hold up for months, and you will also have your dried fruit in there to add texture and flavor and nutrients. What the Cree bannock presents, aside from being a great food to store, is the importance of having access to grain and knowing how to use it. To the untrained eye, a pile of flour, baking soda, and some water might not look like much. These ingredients can feed armies if you know how to harness them. Add to that some cornmeal, and you can really have the base for many great foods. We learn the principle of managing scarcity when we study the native peoples of a region. That is priceless and forgotten knowledge. All right, and I'm going to hold that up. So I'm going to go ahead and use that picture right there. And I will see you guys in a few minutes on the next video. Bye, guys.
It's soft, it spreads, and that's what it's in.
Remember to check your subscriptions and click on the notification bell and click on all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.